Perhaps you'd like to try your hand at cattle. Welcome to Hunter Cattle Company. The farm is located in Brooklet, Georgia, about 40 minutes outside of Savannah. It sits on over 300 acres of reclaimed Georgia swampland that was once an Indian village. Hunter Cattle is a fully functional and self-contained small farm. They raise pigs, chickens, turkeys, and of course cattle. They mainly focus on raising two breeds, Black Angus and Black Baldies. The owners have rapidly grown over the last 10 years with no signs of slowing down. They have 4 full-time employees and a very large part-time staff. The Fergusons recently have become large enough to even construct their own on-site processing facility. Now the family can keep that money that they were outsourcing to a slaughterhouse. This is especially impressive since their former profession was not farming.
Well, we've always had a family business. I worked with my dad, and then my son and daughter started working with me and my wife, and we did some construction work. And when they became families of their own with children, we all wanted to get out on a farm and raise our own food.
Del explained to me why he decided to start with cattle.
Well, I love cows, hanging out with them in the pastures, and just on a quiet afternoon to hear them chewing the cud and just be out there in the middle of them is wonderful. And people might say, well, how can you end up having a cow on the plate? But that's all part of the how it goes.
One of the things the family does really well is community outreach. Most people in Savannah and the surrounding areas know exactly who they are and what they do. They even put on a Farm Heritage Day and invite everyone to come. Instead of competing with their neighbors, they instead invite them to show off their farms too.
I think probably the best way is to open up the farm for people to come see. And once or twice a year we have a day that we just tell all our neighbors and friends and customers, hey, come out and see what we got going on. Just want to promote our Hunter Cattle Company. We want to promote all the farmers that are doing their best to survive and at the same time provide food for the plates. And we invite all our farmer neighbors out here also, and just give people an education of what it takes to eat.
The family also does community outreach by helping out some of the local humane societies.
Well, they'll call us up and they'll say they've got a cat or two that needs a home, and they're always happy to bring it out because they know that this is a wonderful place. Of course, the cats are also functional. If a cat can chase down a rat, that's the best pest control we got. Some of the cats here end up having kittens, and you can have people come out to the farm and see dozens of animals and still will sit there and pet the cat. So people love the kittens.
Hunter Cattle Company is a working family farm. Every family member has a job and they're expected to pull their own weight. They also cut loose and have lots of fun as a family too. But having young children presents some unique problems at harvest time.
I just think it's a part of our life. It's just a way of life. I had somebody the other day ask, how do you teach your 7-year-old to axe down and cut down a tree? And I thought to myself, it's nothing we taught him. That's just what he's been doing his whole life. And I think so, as far as farming, this is all they know. And they know that we raise our own meats to eat. And for us, we would rather raise them and know what we're putting in our bodies and know they're treated right and eat them than just eat something that we had no clue about.
Kristen goes on to share about some of her experiences with having children working with her on the farm.
It is an adventure, and I think they think it's such an adventure. Every morning they want to get through their homeschool work super fast just so they can get down to the barn and start working, which I think is really amazing. Now when they're teenagers, I'm not quite sure if they're going to think all this farm work is as amazing. So you know what? Some of them might want to stay on the farm and keep farming, and some might want to do something different, and that's totally fine.
Deborah Ferguson was quickly hit with reality about owning a farm.
Well, I didn't realize that when we bought the farm, we really bought the farm, and that it was a whole new lifestyle. It was no more vacations, no more trips to town because you've got 1,000 mouths to feed, and no more good night sleeps because you're worried something might get out or something might be sick. So it's a whole new ball game.
Deborah found out that simple things like taking a vacation were a huge ordeal.
Well, before we bought the farm, we would go to missions a couple of times a year, and vacation now is pretty much impossible for the whole family to go anywhere together. We have to leave somebody here to look after things. We do have good help, but it's still not the same as having your family member here to take care of business.
Their son Anthony shares a warning about cattle.
Well, one of the biggest things is you're really going to need to love it in order to be able to do it, because if you don't love it, you're going to be giving up a good steady paycheck for a bunch of nothing for a while. So if you plan on doing cattle, you better love it.
He also shares some advice on how some new farmers can avoid making expensive mistakes starting out.
Well, one of the bigger is electric fence along the highway. You know, during the middle of a storm, if power goes out, you always have to worry about the cows running out into the road. Another thing is you really got to watch and manage your money very well. And then make sure also that when you're breeding cows, have a low birth weight bull. A low birth weight bull means a lot. You want to make sure you throw a lower birth weight on your calf. When we first got into it, we bought some bred cows that were bred to a high birth weight bull, and the calves came out anywhere between 100 and 140 pounds, and we ended up having to pull a lot of calves that year. But you want to try to stick somewhere between 60 and 80 for most of your cows, especially for when you have a heifer that's never had a calf. So that really will help out.
Their son Hunter spent most of his life on this farm and now is struggling if he wants to leave.
Well, it's a blessing to grow up on a farm. It's something that not a lot of people get to experience. Since I was 11, I've been here. You know, the Lord has truly blessed it. I have been praying whether it's His will to leave or to stay, and waiting for an answer. And as soon as I know, we'll go from there. But for right now, this is where I'm at.
Hunter Cattle also monetizes its company by offering overnight stays at the farm. I hope you enjoyed that. Just remember, this is a segment out of a full documentary. If you want to watch the whole documentary, all you have to do is click right here, and you can see it in its entirety. Also, don't forget to stop by TerranLupo.com. I have up videos that you can't see anywhere else. Currently, I have one on carnivorous plants and also how to make your own mead. All you have to do is go over and sign up at TerranLupo.com, and all that's free. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. Also, give this a thumbs up, a like, a share, or if you have something to add, remember to comment below. Thanks.